Hey guys, and welcome back. So we're on the Scout today, and these are the rear brake lights on the old gal. And as you can see, they aren't looking so great. And I'm surprised that they're black. I thought there'd be like a metallic down in there to help it reflect. But these are both of the lens holders, light holders, and we have the lenses here. Now they are decent enough to use. This one has a crack in it. This one had one screw holding it on. This one had three flatheads. That one had one Phillips. And this is the remains of the seals. So I went ahead and bought the Scouter 1 restoration kit for these. Comes with the two lenses, new stainless steel screws for both, new tabs, new seals. So once that comes in the mail, in the next clip, I'll show you guys that. But in the meantime, I'm going to scrub these up. This one doesn't look too bad on the inside. And I'll decide whether or not I might paint the inside with that metallic paint and then leave the perimeter black. Because when you put the lenses on, you'll see the black around it. But it's always good to be a bit more visible, especially in a car that has 4 drum brakes. So, might have to look into doing that. But anyway, let me wire wheel and scrub these. And then hopefully by that time you'll see the kit that comes in the mail. Alright, so I have those two covers brewing away here in the crock pot with some simple green. But in the meantime, what did I do? I took a 000 steel wool and went over this panel with some WD-40, and then I came back and buffed it. And you can kind of tell of a difference. There's like a white haze on the driver door. So I did make an improvement. So I figured we'd repeat that on the rear end here. And there's like this white paint, but you got good paint underneath it. I don't know why they did that. And we got quite a bit of Bondo in this section there. But I figured we could give it a try back here. See, it's got that white haze to it. But let me do a little patch and then you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so as you can see, paint's nice, yellow again. And over here it's got all the white exposure on it from what I'm guessing is the old sun, being down in California. So we're going to keep being busy here. So I usually spray a little bit with WD-40, then I take that steel wool and go over it, and then I wipe that clean, and then I use a bit of the glass cleaner there, wipe that down, and then come back with the old turtle wax here and then buff that. So this is not meant to be for shiny cars. This is for beat up things that you don't really care about. So onward and upward here. Alright, the lenses came in the mail 2 days early, so way to go USPS. So these are the old ones. You see how sun bleached and cracked that one is. And this one's the better of the two, but it's still got some cracking and some bleaching on it. And here's the nice and shiny new ones. And they have the same Grote 420 on them. So, well, they got the same, almost the same SAE number. But I mean, that's one heck of a difference between the two. So this kit comes with all new mounting hardware, stainless steel, and the little clips there. And instead of these lovely gaskets, you get a brand new set. These ones go against the body and these ones are for the lenses. So as of now, the two housings are being dried right now, so I can't mess with them, but these will look really nice. So I'm not sponsored by them, but if you need any good Scout parts, be sure to check them out on eBay. And one heck of a turnaround on shipping. So yeah, nice quality, thick. They're not, flimsy of any kind. Same build quality as the originals, probably because they are the same mold as the originals. But anyway, a nice addition to the old gal. So let me get those finished painted, and we'll throw them together here and see what they look like. Alright, so I got the housings painted up here, and they were originally black, so we just went with what they were. The cork gaskets, I had to trim them a little bit and take a little bit off of them, but that was no big deal there. So this is what the finished product shall look like. Just to install them and plug them in, see how they do. Alright, let's do it. Alright, I got them installed. I had to go with, in order to mount the housing itself, I had to go with what was there originally. The screws that came with the kit were too short, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's my end, because these, where you bolt them up, they were kind of bowed out, and I tried squeezing them in a little bit, but the stubby little screws just couldn't do it. So I just went with what came with it. Not a big deal there. So dresses it up quite a bit. But my battery's dead for this thing, so it's on the charger right now. And when I was in the auto shop, I was always told to store your batteries on like a piece of wood or something, because the concrete will actually suck the charge out of them. And I forgot about this one. It was still in the battery tray for a while, so it's dead. So gotta wait for that to charge. This is the this was the screws that came with it in the set, but they were too short, and the ones that came out were about another ½ inch longer, which is what I needed. So not blaming Scouter 1 for that one. That's probably on my end, because I'm sure if everything was, flush and not all bent out of shape, these would have worked just fine. But you might notice how much brighter it is here. That's because I picked up a nice lamp, and it has like a 10 times zoom, 5 times zoom on it. So I use these all the time at work, and I love them. And it's fully, you can go anywhere with it. And it's actually pretty reasonable what it costs. It's all encased, so there's no springs to pinch your fingers. My only pet peeve is that you have to lift the cover to turn it on and off. But you can just leave it on and then hook it up to a power strip and then do that. And it's a LED, so she's quite bright and quite handy. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description for it. It cost me $80, and that's with shipping. The light itself was about $70. It's an industrial light. It's from Global Industrial. Yeah, love to have a nice light, because my current lighting, as you know, is not that great. And I have been pricing and looking around. I'm probably going to go the fluorescent fixture route, but then buy LED bulbs that go into those, because I can buy a 4-light fluorescent fixture without bulbs for about 40 bucks, whereas I can buy the 4-light LED for about 120. So if I factor in, buy the fluorescent for 40, then buy the bulbs, and then there's my fixture. But still gotta kind of plan that out and map it. So in the meantime, waiting for the battery to charge, I'll go play some video games and wait for that and come back out, and we'll see how nice and bright those lights are. So I'm gonna go do that. Alright, got the battery hooked up. Both lights work. Yeah, those look a lot nicer. Much nicer. Alright, one less thing to do here. Making progress. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one here. Alright, on your next restoration project, don't do what I did. And I put my bolts in Ziploc bags, right? And then I proceeded to wire wheel and clean the bolts, and then put them back in the bags. And then here's the dumb part. I put a little bit of oil in with the bolts to prevent them from rusting. And I labeled each bag with a Sharpie. So over time, the Sharpie kind of disintegrated. So I know this is for the intake manifold, for the this is the cutoff for the heater vent, or for the heater core. So that's easy to do. These, my brain said they're for the valve cover, which they are. They're just a standard bolt for that valve cover. However, I have several bags that are just blank, and they're just mystery bags, mystery bolts, and I know they'll work themselves out, but I got to thinking, how would I do this differently? And I would just go buy a stinking pack of Ziploc containers and then label those, because I know that plastic won't degrade since it's like a whole container with a cover over it. Or if you got a bunch of saved up pickle jars or mayonnaise jars or something like that, I would definitely use those. I would not use bags in the future. For some things, yes, like obvious things, that's for the distributor hold down. But for the Missick bolts and nuts, I would go the route of Ziploc containers, or maybe those compartmentalized bolt containers you can buy at Harbor Freight for like 11 bucks, and it's that whole like briefcase of different nuts and bolts that you can put in there, and then label each individual window of what it is. So I would not do this again. In the meantime, I finally picked up an operator's manual for this thing, thanks to eBay. However, viewer be warned, I ordered this on the 3rd of January, and I got it yesterday, which is the 22nd of January. So a little slow on the shipping, and you kind of had to poke them in order for them to ship it to you. But this is a very helpful item. Gives me all the lubrication points, which is what I really wanted it for. Mainly to know what kind of fluid to put in the rear differential, because I drained that in one of my previous videos, and I have not refilled that. So now I know what type of oil to use, as well as engine oil and grease points and everything else I would like to know about this thing. Especially there, how to remove doors, which I know I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm probably going to have to torch the dang things to get them off. Anyway, there's that. Today, I'm going through my bolts, as you know. And I am also installing the exhaust manifold. So there's the exhaust manifold. I don't know where the center bolt is. It goes in there, so I was digging through my bolts to do that. But I got the 4 and I got a new intake gasket. And before I put this on, I made sure to file each port so it's nice and flat, and then I took a straight edge of any sorts, and then I laid it across the exhaust ports on the exhaust manifold to make sure that they were at least somewhat together so that the gasket can make up for those gaps. Because before, number one cylinder had one heck of a leak, so I wanted to make sure to address that. I also got a new donut gasket for that. I got to figure out what bolt configuration goes with that. The collar slides up and hooks into that, but I need to get new bolts for that, I believe. But in the meantime, I have the bolts, 4 out of the 5 bolts for the exhaust manifold that I can do at the moment. I did send out the camshaft for this. They got it, and they definitely recommended to fix the flat cam, and apparently a couple other of the cams were near the brink of needing repair. So they're going to weld up the flat cam and grind in the rest until they clean up. Them doing that, I'm going to have to run longer push rods in this, which is the bummer because here's push rods, but these are going to be all useless now. They're not all brand new. I think I only have like 3 of them that are new, so I'm not out too much money, which isn't a big deal, just kind of aggravating, but that's on my part because I didn't anticipate having the cam get ground down 60 thousandths. So we can still use the new lifters. We're just going to have to look for different push rods, and they said they would happily manufacture new push rods if the need arose. So there's that. In the meantime, still got to tighten those bolts for the exhaust manifold. And then I'm culling through my box of wonder here, trying to remember where things went. For the most part, I think I did like a 70%, I'll give myself. It does help that I remember quite a bit. And I have the old videos I can go back and look over, which is helpful. But yeah, that is that's what we're doing today, gents. And I think before this I just did the rear lights, so hopefully you enjoyed that, and keep you guys up to date on the cam situation so I can just kind of button this thing up and get ready for the cam, which I can't really do anything else until that cam gets here. But I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.